What's going on? I'm back again. Right now I'll be sharing with you guys my 4 favorite trap exercises in the year of 2021. So you have to understand I'm always updating my philosophies, and even though you may have seen some older videos of my trap training, it doesn't mean that my way of thinking isn't growing. So it's always maturing, and I'm always finding better ways to skin a cat, exercises that are harder to mess up, so on and so forth. So the first exercise I want to show you guys is the trap bar deadlift off of high handles with band assistance. This is hands down one of my favorite exercises at the moment. I'm gonna show you guys the setup right now. So if you look closely, if you guys don't have like band pegs or like a band platform, it's not the end of the world. You could do a do-it-yourself alternative. So you see I took the band, you put it low on the rack like so. So it's super low. You attach it here, and then you put like a dumbbell. It's like 35 pounds, 25 pounds here, and this thing is not going anywhere. And what's really good about this exercise is that this is gonna overload the upper back at the top. This is like a block pull, or it's like a rack pull below the knee, but it's done with the trap bar, so it spares the low back, got the neutral grip handle component. It's easier on the low back, obviously, but you could really just focus your energy on the upper back. So if you just come around, I'll show you what it looks like. So the setup takes maybe like a minute long, but it's well worth it. And I like these for higher reps as well. Dead stop. And if you work up to some good weights on this, your upper back should be a lot more impressive. So super simple. We're gonna get a reach in, get all the air out, knees forward, right here. Pull the slack out, and I'm just gonna pull. So great contraction in the upper back, isometric of course, but this is hands down a great exercise you could really load up. And as far as where you program an exercise like this, if you're trying to get the biggest back possible, I would actually recommend not doing these on an upper body day, because it's like taxing on the grip, and especially if you have to do a lot of like benching, presses, pull-ups and all that kind of stuff. You could actually incorporate this on the lower body day, because it still does hit the lower body to a certain extent, but you're getting a lot of the back benefits as well. Okay, so that wraps up the trap bar deadlift with high handles with bands. I know it's a complicated name, but the second lift I like a lot. Shout out to Alpha Destiny. He actually showed me this one. He made a video about it like a year or two ago. It's the Trap Bar Shrug. And I'm gonna make a couple modifications to it to really get more out of it. Because you have one side of the spectrum where a lot of people, they do a lot of cheat reps. They just duck under it. They don't really like, they're kind of cutting range of motion. It's like they're not even getting the full scapular elevation. Then you have the other side of the people who do the shrugs where it's too strict, you know, they're not really getting a heavy stretch. So you got one end of the spectrum where people are getting a nice squeeze at the top. You got one other end of the spectrum where people are getting barely any squeeze or little to no squeeze at the top, but they're getting the heavy stretch at the bottom. So obviously you can't maximize both of them at the same time, but you could get pretty close. And one of the ways you could do that is by doing a power shrug with the pause at the top. I actually got this from Christian Thibodeau, one of his older T-Nation videos. But you combine that with the trap bar, where you don't most likely won't need straps for as many warm sets. You could go heavier, it's easier on the low back, the center of mass, all that good stuff. Get all the best of both worlds. So this is the setup. Just set up on some blocks. Take a trap bar at your gym, put on some boxes, super simple. Get into it. Check this out. It's like a very high block pull, whatever, but we're not doing this for leg development. We're doing this because we're trying to get into position for traps, and most trap bars don't fit in racks anyways. So then from here, boom, and you could do your first sets strict. I don't mind that, but once the weight starts getting a lot heavier, it's very hard to do it strict. So you could resort to doing a slight knee dip with the pause at the top. Slight knee dip, pause at the top. So if you can't hold at the top for at least 1 second, it's too heavy, and this also keeps you more in check. And as far as the rep ranges are concerned, I like to work up to one heavy set of 10, and then you could do back down set of 15, and as you're reacting the weights, do a back down set of 20. So it's 10, 15, 20. No, I can't make a trap training video without talking about the snatch grip exercise. Like, I have to go back to my roots because this is definitely the stuff that works. So when it comes to a snatch grip exercise, I'm not talking about a semi-snatch grip. So a lot of people, they'll tag me in videos and they'll put their pinky on the ring. This is not a snatch grip for most people, unless you have very short arms and a very short wingspan. Generally speaking, you want to go on the wider side. So for myself, I take my index, put it on the ring of the bar. You don't want to go too wide either. I see people going collar to collar. You could clip your pinky there as well. So you got to find that sweet spot. You want to go slightly wider than closer. And we're going to apply the same principle that we did on the power shrug with the trap bar with the snatch grip. So I'm going to demonstrate right now. And this isn't to say that it's bad if you can't hold your shrugs at the top for 1 second, because I've seen people who just do heavy shrugs, point A to point B, and they still have big traps, and they've never paused in a shrug in their life. This is just the way that I'm prescribing it right now. It just makes it really easy to remember. It's like, okay, if I could hold it at the top for 1 second, then I could get a nice squeeze in the traps, and I can also get a nice stretch at the bottom. So this is just one way to skin a cat. So I'll just do a quick set for you guys. On rack, and get a little bit of a knee bend right here. Boom. Pause. Knee bend. Pause. So the loading potential on these is still great. It's pretty hard to mess up and great for the traps. Okay, so just to wrap up the video, I can't talk about trap training without mentioning the snatch grip high pull done from the hang. Now, if you guys have watched a lot of my older videos, I would really duck under these. And it's not to say it's necessarily bad, because it still generates results, but I would recommend a little bit less of a duck, where it's just get the weight to the top, try to keep your skeleton as high as possible, and get more of the range of motion. So as far as the technique's concerned, I already spoke about that in my top 5 favorite back exercises, but I'll just tell it again here in case you haven't watched that video. So you grab the snatch grip. You could do it off a rack, do it off the ground to take it off. Doesn't really matter. These are going to be done a lot lighter. So once you're here, I'm going to do like a 1/8 of an RDL. This isn't Olympic weightlifting, by the way. This is just like a variation you can use to get bigger traps. If you want to get better Olympic weightlifting, like I mentioned in my Q&A, check out Catalyst Athletics. Did a Q&A with them back in the day. They're really the go-to guys. It's just a go-to team for Olympic weightlifting content. This is more for trap building. So, again, this position here, 1/8 of an RDL, like so. I'll show. So I'm really trying to keep loose arms, just hip drive, get the weight from point A to point B, really high around like clavicle level, let it drop down, you get a crazy stretch in the traps, and that's about it. So these are hands down my 4 favorite exercises for building up bigger traps. I'm gonna take these exercises, I'm gonna load them heavier and heavier, and I'll report back with the progress. But in the meantime, also, let me know, give this a shot for you guys as well. Try it out. As far as the rep ranges, I'll let you know in the comment section below how I would prescribe them as far as programming. If you want even more details, check out the Silverback book. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next episode.